Hi, it's Emily from Emily Roach Wellness, and I wanted to take a little break today from my client meetings and talk a little bit more about my recent article, The 5 Simple Practices We Can Be Doing to Help Boost Our Immune Health. There's a lot of scary information out there right now about the coronavirus and even the flu, and I want to give people a little bit more sense of control about focusing on the things that they have the ability to change and not spend their days worrying about what they can't change. So, what I highlighted in the article was 5 simple practices that we can all be doing to boost our overall immune health. And those are eating nutrient dense foods, that is getting proper hydration, drinking enough water, that is getting enough sleep, that is not getting so stressed out and having better stress management, stress resiliency, I like to say, and also reducing your toxic load. If it's something you haven't done yet in certain areas of your life, this is actually a really good time to do that for the health of yourself and certainly for the health of your home and your family if you are a parent like me. So I want to highlight a few more things in depth that goes along with the blog post I wrote. You can find it over at emilyroachwellness.com and head to the blog part of it all. And the first thing is really the nutrient-dense foods. We eat 3 times a day at least. That is the best opportunity for us to take care of our health and give our body some really good sustenance that helps boost our immune system in terms of making sure we're decreasing inflammation. That's always like the number one thing. So if you're eating a very heavy plant-based diet, that's always a strong recommendation right now to help keep you healthy. But I also layer in meat and chicken and fish from high quality sources. That's the key. If you are pescatarian, omnivore, carnivore, you got to have meat from high quality sources. So I'm doing a farm order this week to get stocked up and really just replenish what we need on hand. But the more opportunity we give ourselves to have a green smoothie, have lots of veggies with dinner instead of a protein, a starch, and a veggie. You go with a protein and 2 veggies. So nutrient dense food is a huge win for you no matter what season it is, and it's even more important right now. So nutrient dense foods is definitely number one, and that's something you can control by putting a little bit more effort into meal planning, thinking through what the kids are eating for school lunch, breakfast. Meal planning, sometimes people think it's just about dinner, and I encourage you to kind of think beyond that and think about breakfast and snacks, because sometimes it's the snacking that kind of makes people fall off the rails a little bit. So nutrient dense foods. The second thing is getting enough water. I always keep one of these here with me. And we as a society really don't drink enough water. We're drinking a lot of caffeine in the morning and then switching over to wine at night. If you're a female, lots of my clients fall into this pattern, and it's super common, but it's also really dehydrating. So we have to work extra hard to drink enough water. But I'm telling you, it makes such a big difference when you drink enough water. It helps your metabolism and it helps your immune system because it decreases inflammation. And that's really the name of the game here. So whether it's water, seltzer, herbal teas, kombucha, those are all great ideas to layer in throughout your day. As we start to get into some warm weather, it's great. I feel like we have a little bit more variety in our mix, but also there's water in your food content too. So if you're eating more of a plant-rich diet, you're going to get more water in from that perspective too, which is another easy win. The next thing is sleep. Everyone needs a little reminder to put some more energy into their sleep routine, not just for their kids, but for themselves. I wrote a post last year about my 10 sleep tips. I think it's linked in the post, so you can read those if you need a little bit more help in terms of setting up a bedtime routine, figuring out which essential oils might help you sleep better, if you're a good candidate for melatonin, why blue blockers might be necessary. because if you are sleep deprived, your immune system is definitely suppressed. And that's the number one thing that we need to be worried about, I think. I'm not, getting overly concerned about the virus that's going around right now or the flu, only because I try to make sure that we stay as healthy as possible to start the race, essentially. That's the way I'm approaching it. And getting high quality sleep is so, so important. So I'm making sure my kids even go to bed a little bit early right now. We're trying to go to bed earlier and really make sure that we don't have any distractions, any light, keeping the heat down, all those good things. So sleep is so, so important. And if you're struggling with sleep and not finding the right fit, please reach out to me for some extra help or a quick consult, because sleep is one of those things that when you do fix it, it has an incredible trickle-down effect in terms of giving you the energy you need to cook more food from home, to get more exercise, put the time in for meditation, all the things that have far-reaching benefits. But if you have poor sleep, it's really hard to get the energy going to do all these other things. So sleep, sleep, sleep. The fourth thing is actually stress management, or stress resiliency, I like to say. In my own world, I just went through a pretty stressful few weeks. And one thing that I know helped me not kind of fall apart with a cold or something at the end of it all was making sure I took time to do meditation and Pilates, getting outside fresh air, lots of deep breaths. So that is so, so important, because if we're all turned up about the news right now, that's doing no good for your actual immune system. So we don't want to stress about stress. That is not a good thing. But what we can do is make time for some mindfulness practices, meditation if you know how to kind of go about it. Yes, there's lots of apps that you can do. A lot of those are just more mindfulness practices, and meditation is like really a step further. I'm still learning a lot more about this, but I know that it makes a huge difference in terms of how I approach my day and also how I approach my kids at the end of the day. So meditation is really beneficial right now, especially if you have a lot of worry about what's happening right now, because it feels very out of our control. So that's something that you can do to kind of feel more grounded, feel more centered in your body, and then realize, remind yourself that you're safe right now. And that's what we all need to do. Remind our children that they're safe, our home is a safe place, and bring us back into our body, and then move forward from there. So figuring out what stress relieving practices are right for you. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people like to journal, some people like to exercise, and I do encourage everyone does need some quiet. That is number one, the most important thing. And the last piece is really using this opportunity to clean up your toxic load. What I mean by that is if you have yet to switch over to non-toxic beauty care products, non-toxic cleaning products, cleaning products in your home, or your laundry detergent, all those things, or if you're still using candles with synthetic fragrances, all those toxins build up in your body, and it makes it a lot harder for your immune system to work efficiently, and it also increases your inflammation. So again, we're always looking for ways to reduce our inflammation and getting rid of the toxins in our body that they just stick around and they accumulate and they build up. So the more we can do to lessen that would be great. A note about hand sanitizers. They are obviously pretty much sold out everywhere, but the issue with the hand sanitizers right now is that a lot of them have fragrances. They have, they're alcohol based. They strip your skin of all the natural oils that are a natural barrier. So I highly, highly suggest really focusing on quality hand soap. I keep a little Castile soap in my handbag, so I don't have to use the ones that are out and about. And if I was ever in a situation where I couldn't get to hand sanitizer, didn't have a thing, I would even just throw on some of that soap and just try to get it on there. It's gonna be more far-reaching for us to really work on the hand washing piece and not the hand sanitizer piece, because the hand sanitizer thing just strips. It's not just the germs, and I feel like that's where it can be a little bit more damaging in the long run for people. So I would say just focus on the hand washing, educate your children, educate your parents if you have elderly parents. Really talk to them about the importance of hand washing and protecting themselves. So that's the key thing with reducing your toxic load. So I'm sure you have questions. If you do, please reach out to me in our private Facebook group. You can also chat with me over on Instagram. I'm going to have a few more posts about immunity. Next week, I think we're going to get into some more questions about supplements and herbal remedies, because it is nice to know what you can do to use some of these tools, essentially, to help keep our immunity up as well. And then eventually we'll talk about, okay, what do you do if you do get sick? And that's whether you have the stomach bug, the flu, coronavirus, hopefully not. But if it does spread as much as they anticipate, we all need to be aware of what are all these simple steps we can do to help get over it faster and limit the spread. So thank you for watching and sending me your questions in previously about how to stay healthy this season. I know there's a lot of information out there that keeps changing, and part of me wants you to, shut the news off so that you're not getting overly worried about it, and just, check in once a day, be like, okay, what do I need? What's relevant in my area? What do I need to know? But beyond that, kind of limit it for yourself, limit it for your family and children, because I think they're starting to pick up on the worry as well. We've had a lot of conversations about it in our house, but I want to make sure that we really just focus back on what can we control. We can control what we eat, how much water we're drinking, if we're getting enough sleep, if we are managing our worries, and also using the best quality products we can for our body that don't harm us in the long run. So thank you. If you are on YouTube, you can subscribe to this channel so you get the next updates. If you're on Instagram, please follow along and join the community. And you can always go to Emily Roach Wellness and hop on my newsletter list so you get all of our updates. Thank you.